This is KGW News at Sunrise.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for being here on this beautiful Sunday. I'm Galen Etlin. We've got a lot to get to here on Sunrise, including this story here. The Delta surge pushing communities to the limit. What two coastal counties are now doing to prepare for the worst case scenario. Plus, the Pacific Northwest running tradition returns with a sign of the times. The Hood to Coast finish line doubling as a vaccine clinic. We'll take you there. But before we get to that, we'll check in now with Keely Chalmers live at home with our forecast. Good morning, Keely.
Hey, good morning, Galen. Yeah, it's shaping up to be a great Sunday. We're talking lots of sunshine, warm temperatures in the 80s, a little bit cooler than yesterday, but still a great day. We'll take you outside right now, 63 degrees here in the metro area, and here is how your Sunday is shaping up. We'll be 77 by noon, 83. That's our forecast high for today, so a few degrees cooler than yesterday, but still quite nice, quite warm, lots of sunshine. And that haze we saw yesterday, that has cleared out. So beautiful day. Also, they want to hop down south. This is the big weather story of the day. All eyes on the Gulf of Mexico right now as Hurricane Ida makes its way onshore. Outer bounds already making their way onshore into southeast Louisiana. We're talking sustained winds, 150 miles per hour. This is a Category 4 hurricane. It intensified overnight, and we're talking not only strong winds, but a massive storm surge, anywhere from 10 to 15 feet. That will lead to flooding as it makes its way into Louisiana. We're talking flooding along the Gulf Coast, and lots of rain. I mean, we're talking rainfall in excess of 15 inches possible in some areas. So again, all eyes right now in the weather world down in the Gulf, and we will obviously keep tracking this as it makes its way onshore. Galen.
Just so scary, Keely. Thank you so much. We'll keep track of it. And we're going to break down some of those details now in that developing story. This is a live shot in New Orleans this morning. The local time there just past 8 o'clock. That's the famed Superdome you're seeing right now. The rest of the city all waiting for Hurricane Ida to arrive. It comes today exactly 16 years after Hurricane Katrina devastated that same area. Here's what things have looked like in the famous French Quarter. The normally busy tourist spot was almost empty overnight. Most businesses closed down, understandably, for that storm. On Saturday, people flooded the airport, too. All flights in and out are canceled today. 40 were canceled yesterday, too, stranding some passengers. Many are still at the airport this morning, where they do have some backup generators. And you can see some of the damage left behind by Ida already in Cuba. The storm ripped up trees, flooded agricultural areas, and destroyed electrical grids. Wow. Now, about 13,000 people did have to evacuate, mostly from low elevation and vulnerable areas. Fortunately, no one so far has been reported dead. Back locally, we turn to the pandemic. About 300 Oregon National Guardsmen are now deployed in Portland to help with the growing number of people in the hospital. Most of the Guardsmen are from the 142nd Wing as part of the Task Force Reassurance. That's the National Guard's support to hospitals around the state. Now, many of these soldiers also helped fight wildfires before this deployment, and they say they're happy to do that work.
I'm thankful. I'm thankful to the airmen. I'm thankful to the community that both supports us and then accepts us when we come in to help them. It has been hard, but it's shown us that we work together, that we're airmen, we're soldiers, that we come from the communities that we live in, we work in, and we grow up in, and then our desire is to serve and protect those communities, and this is why we get to do it.
Such important work right now. On Saturday, the Guard's primary goal was to assign soldiers to specific hospitals. As COVID deaths rise, at least 2 counties in Oregon are asking for help. Tillamook and Josephine counties have both requested refrigerated trucks to hold bodies. Let that sink in for a moment. Art Edwards has more.
A spike in deaths attributed to COVID-19 this month pushed Tillamook County to make a request for a refrigerated truck from the state. 8 deaths this month in the county, more than Tillamook County had in the previous 18 months of the pandemic. Tillamook County Emergency Director Gordon McCraw made the request to the state's Office of Emergency Management.
It's horrible to think that we need to get a refrigerator truck for the increase in bodies that are resulting from the COVID.
In Tillamook County, bodies go to Wild Funeral Home. They're equipped to handle 9 bodies at any one time. For a couple of weeks, they were at maximum capacity. That's when the owner, Mike Wild, asked the county for the refrigerated truck. Klamath County had one, so they sent it to Tillamook on Friday. They are no longer at capacity, but the refrigerated truck will be ready for use at the beginning of the week. Wild feels he did the right thing.
I was concerned that if it had kept going the way it was, that we wouldn't be able to take care of people. And we need to take care of people. So I think it worked out good. I'm glad that they found something that we could use if something ever happened.
Tillamook County isn't alone in its request. Josephine County also asked for a refrigerated truck. They got one from Yamhill County. The requests come as the coronavirus Delta variant hits Oregon's unvaccinated population hard. In Tillamook County, the vaccination rate is 70%, either in progress or fully vaccinated. In Josephine County, the vaccination rate is only 53%, according to the Oregon Health Authority's data. On Friday, the Oregon Health Authority reported 20 new deaths. That raised the state's death toll to 3,115 since the start of the pandemic. Most of the COVID-19 patients in Oregon's hospitals and intensive care units are unvaccinated. The state wants to see at least 80% of people vaccinated. In Tillamook County, they want people to take advantage of the available vaccines.
I can understand some people that absolutely don't want it for whatever reason, religious, just firm believer that they don't want it.
Yep.
And that's their right to do so. But for anybody that's been on the fence, the answer is here. Now's the time to get off the fence and go get that shot.
Art Edwards, KGW News.
Runners hit the Oregon coast to wrap up the return of the annual Hood to Coast relay race this weekend. The Pacific Northwest tradition pushed on despite the pandemic. Critics flooded Facebook with comments, some calling it a super spreader event, others saying it should have been canceled. Now, regardless of that outcry, the race went on with many COVID precautions. Among the changes was the finish line just feet away. They set up a free vaccine clinic for anyone who wanted it. Organizers teamed up with Albertsons Safeway to offer shots to people who needed them. And we spoke with a runner who was diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma earlier this year. He was thrilled to get his booster shot there, too.
I was actually really concerned. I wanted to get my booster beforehand, before the race, to just feel a little bit safer, and I wasn't able to do that.
Now, Dan Floyd is the COO of Hood to Coast, and he applauded the participants and volunteers who were COVID conscious and wore masks at the start, exchanges, and finish line. Portland's newest middle school is ready for students. School leaders cut the ribbon this weekend. Voters approved a bond measure in 2017 to rebuild Kellogg Middle School in Southeast Portland. The modernized school will have Spanish dual language immersion, and it's going to open for the first time this Wednesday. School leaders say it will be a safe and healthy learning environment, and some parents are excited for these changes.
I think the minute you walk through these doors, everything feels so fresh and modern. The colors are wonderful. There are all kinds of open spaces where kids can just get together in small groups to work on projects. It really has a different feel.
Under the approved enrollment boundaries, Kellogg will welcome students from the Arleta, Marysville, Creston, and Lentz neighborhoods. Some students from Bridger's area will also feed into that school. Beaverton Schools also cut the ribbon for its new Arts and Communication Magnet Academy. The middle and high school is focused on music, dance, visual arts, and filmmaking.
People are very excited. Our staff are excited to see students, even if it's just their foreheads and eyes, when we get back in a week. And to see these students walk into a building that is this revelation to them has been a joy.
Later this week, Beaverton will also open Turnwater Middle School. That's coming up this Thursday. People on the Oregon coast are a little bit safer this morning. That's with the help from an online tool that shares the quickest and safest way to escape a potential tsunami. Keely Chalmers explains how it works.
You live along the coast or visit it, you see the signs, those telling you you're entering a tsunami zone, and others telling you where to evacuate to in case one occurs. But admit it, those signs can be a bit confusing. Experts agree if there is a major Cascadia subduction zone earthquake, there will be a tsunami that follows, one that will inundate the coast. But now coastal residents and visitors have a much simpler online tool to help them get to higher ground.
What the tool is designed for is to help you make a plan.
Joanna Merson works in the infographics lab at the University of Oregon. She developed the online tool with the help of scientists at the Oregon Department of Geology and Mineral Industries.
And so you can type in your address or just click right on where you work or where you live, and it's going to put a little route that goes from where you live. Here's the most likely route that you should take.
All users have to do is put in their address and the tool generates the best evacuation route. For example, let's say you're staying at the Inn at Cannon Beach. You put in the address and the software generates your quickest and likely safest route to safety. All you have to do is follow the blue dotted line.
And it's going to already avoid hazards such as there might be some bridges that are not necessarily going to survive that earthquake, the ones that are maybe obstructions of concern. And this will route you around those.
And not only does the site tell you where to go, it tells you how fast you'll have to move to get there.
The routes that we put are paired with an estimation of what's an average walk speed, what's an average run speed, and letting you know you're in a spot that, you've got enough time to walk, or, you're in a spot where you're going to need to run if you're going to make it to high ground.
Right now, there are a handful of coastal communities on the website, but more are being added every day. If you'd like to check it out for yourself and map your own evacuation route, we've got a link to that online tool on KGW.com.
Keely Chalmers reporting for us there. All right, still to come, taking on a tangled mess. A new nonprofit is on a mission to stop an invader that's killing native plants in Oregon and actually putting many of your homes at risk. We're going to share their work next.